Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. For those out there that do not know me, my name is Alicia and I'm a special events professional. And on this channel I give you wedding and event related tips, inspiration, and advice on how to plan and design your wedding or event like a pro without breaking the bank. So in today's video I will be giving you 14 tips on how to cater your own wedding. So let me kind of break down my title as a special events professional. So I'm a catering coordinator, an event coordinator, and an event designer. And I also know how to plan events and run them and stuff like that. Plan them, work with like a budget because, I do my own events outside of my work, outside of my job, like birthday parties and little stuff and holiday parties for my family and friends. So this is not nothing that I'm new to. I've catered all my personal affairs, my personal events outside of my job. And then inside my job, we actually have a kitchen that produces all of our catering, menu, food and stuff. So all I have to do is just take it from the kitchen and present it, I design and set up the room. I make a buffet. I set the buffet up according to how the menu's printed out. So I do it all. So I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. So that's why you really need to hit that subscribe button like right now. Because if you're doing your own wedding or event, you need to stick with me, somebody that does this every single day. Like I know it like the back of my hand. So stick with me, and also at the end of the video make sure that you hit that link down below. It'll take you right over to my digital products, my blog, some affiliate links that I know you will find beneficial. Especially, I'm all about cash back, so anytime I can make a purchase and get cash back, you have my full attention. So these are cash back links for you, for every time you swipe your credit card with Capital One, you get 1.5% back on cash back. And this is very helpful during your wedding planning process and the event planning process. When you start purchasing stuff, you can probably pay your vendors for that. With their credit card and receive some cash back. Your wedding decorations, your wedding dress. So you can pay for a lot of different wedding related items with your credit card and get cash back for it. And that's what you want to do. Just because you saved all your money or however you got your wedding money, you don't want to really pay with cash. You should be paying with a credit card, so then that way you're building up your credit and you're getting cash back. Whereas if you just use a debit card and have these purchases coming straight out of your bank account, there's no benefit besides the money being lost. So that's that. Make sure that you take full advantage of that. So that's also in my Linktree link down below. And the next one is for gas. I just found out about this. I just started this and I already have seen a small percentage. You just have to make sure that there is participating gas stations in your area. And literally after you pump the gas, you get the receipt. Take a picture of the receipt, upload it, and it may take like a few days before you actually see the money in your account. But when you're doing all this driving around, looking at venues and buying wedding decorations and all these different wedding related expenses you have to drive to, you might as well reap the benefits of getting cash back for gas. So between the credit card and gas, you're actually winning because you are getting cash back. Again, all your money's just not going out. And you guess what? Then you can use the credit card to pay for the gas. So not only are you receiving cash back for using your credit card, you're also receiving cash back for getting the gas. And all you have to do is just pump the gas, pay with your debit card or credit card, and upload the receipt. So it's very step-by-step, very easy, and this is a perfect opportunity for you to get some of your money back. So again, stick to the whole video. This is very informational. 14 tips on how to cater your own wedding. Then hit that subscribe button, or you can just do it right now. I prefer that you do it right now. Hit the subscribe button, then like and comment, and hit the links down below because this is all information to help you save money, plan and design like a pro without breaking the bank. So let's jump right into it. So again, 14 points. I have it all written down right here. So we're just gonna jump right into it because this video might be a little long, but trust me, it's worth it. Informational. Get your pen and paper out. So number one, sit down and think of a menu that actually goes together. If you cannot afford a plated meal and you're going to have to get, do the catering yourself, you need to come up with a menu that is easy and that goes together. Don't just have random stuff that are easy to make and it doesn't really go together. You want to fake it until you make it. So come up with a simple menu that goes together. Will take you a long way. So yeah, you can go to Pinterest, look up different stuff on YouTube, Google, see what simple food menu related items that you're capable of doing that doesn't cost much, that you can do quickly, cheaply, and still have the quality of food, and that you can present it well. And then I will also recommend probably that you have servers for your buffet, just so that way people aren't taking a whole lot and the food of portions going on people's plate is kind of controlled. So we'll get more into that later, but for right now, have a menu that goes together. Number two, stay organized and have a detailed plan. Like I just said before, if having a caterer is completely off the table, and you have to have you have to become your own caterer, you need to be organized. You need to have lists. You need to have people helping you. You need to everything needs to be cost effective, and everything needs to be ran like clockwork. Everything needs to be ran smoothly and organized. So that's why having a detailed plan is key. And something else that I will also recommend that you have is like a timeline. So for instance, you want to take about a half an hour for appetizers or hors d'oeuvres, and then like maybe an hour and a half or just an hour. I would say like an hour and a half, not even an hour and a half, but probably like, let's just say 40 minutes for people to sit down and eat, because they're going to be chit-chatting, talking to other people, getting up, moving around, talking to other people. So I would say about 40 minutes to an hour for that. And then you move down the list for desserts and, coffee setups. And, you want to have everything in line. You want to have everything laid out to the T, so there's little error for a hiccup. So that's number two, staying organized. Number three, keep it simple and don't overwhelm yourself. Like I said before, to find simple, but delicious, great quality of food menu choices. Do not go try to do something exotic and you've never done it before. Do something simple that tastes good, that's filling, and that that you're capable of doing, and that can be done with yourself and others that that you ask for help or they just volunteer to help. But make it simple but good. Number four, buy in bulk. So you can go like to BJ's, Costco, Sam's, and buy stuff in bulk. Those are like the three main places that people that want to buy in bulk that they go to. And maybe also Restaurant Depot, if you have that in your area. See how you can get inside of that. I'm not sure if it's open to the public, but if it is, definitely look at them as well. Don't rule those people out. If you live in like I would say those four places. I was going to think of something else, but I don't think they serve enough to say bulk. But Sam's, BJ's, Costco's, and Restaurant Depot will be your four choices that I would recommend. That you go for bulk stuff. especially food related items. But if you're looking for like cutlery and cups and napkins and Schaefer's, I will probably look at BJ's and Costco's, all of them. I don't think Restaurant Depot will sell something like that. But for cutlery and stuff like that, you can go to efavormart.com, which will be down in the description. They sell bulk stuff, nice stuff, and they sell hard plastic disposable plates and cutlery and all that will still look nice. It mimics a real china plate, but it's not. It's disposable. So along with your menu, you're doing stuff by yourself. You don't want to have to worry about real dishes at the end. So I would recommend that you do your own menu, but have this nice disposable so guests can just throw away afterwards. So they're actually helping you out in the long run with the cleanup process, because after they eat, they can just throw their plates away and all you have to worry about is the trash. So bring extra trash bags as well. But yes, efavormart.com does sell very nice quality hard plastic plates, forks, knives, spoons, everything that you can possibly think of, and decorations and chair covers and tablecloths, anything that you need that's non-food related, they sell on efavormart.com. And again, their link that will be down in my link tree link, so it's underneath the affiliate tab, the affiliate links tab, efavormart.com. And I highly recommend them. Not only do I use them, but other professionals use them as well. So, and they sell their stuff at wholesale prices, so that means you're getting it for like the absolute cheapest that they can go, and it is open to the public. Shipping is fast. The quality of stuff is good. I would not recommend anything that I have not personally used or haven't recommended for anybody else to use. I highly recommend efavormart.com for all your wedding and event decor needs and cutlery and stuff like that, because they sell very great quality stuff. Their stuff is shipped perfectly in boxes and stuff. I haven't had any issues, and I know other people that use them as well, and they haven't had any issues as well. And its shipping is good as well. So definitely efavormart.com and Sam's, Costco's, BJ's, and Restaurant Depot for food related stuff. Number 5, buy what you need to prep with. Don't try to cut corners with that, because you want to make sure that you have the necessary resources to produce your catering menu. So if you have to go out and invest in buying mixers and bowls and stuff like that, and you know that you're only going to use it for this purpose only, you don't think about it as, I'm not going to use it again, what am I going to do with it, yada yada yada, because 2021 has allowed you to resell online, or you can donate it to like Goodwill, Savers, or if you know somebody else that's up and coming in culinary, you can donate it to that, or you may also be able to donate it to like a culinary school. Don't quote me on that, but call before you just pop up and see if they would take that, and just let them know that you bought all this stuff because you were your own caterer for your wedding, and you guys want the stuff. And then what I also would do too is reach out. This is like a bonus tip now. Reach out to a culinary school to see if they even offer like a program. If if they offer like a learning program where they would do outside events, maybe the culinary school would approve them, the students, catering your wedding for either free or very small cost. But it doesn't hurt to call and check or send an email to see if that is even allowed. But there's no harm in asking. So that's a little bonus tip right there. Number 6, well, that should actually be number 7, but we're just gonna say it's number 6 since I gave y'all that little bonus tip. Number 6, ask for help and delegate tasks. So if you have people that are willing to help you, genuinely help you, they're responsible, they want to do this, because with food and cooking, you have to cook with love. You can't just say, oh, whatever, they're not going to care. People care about their food. People care about the presentation of their food. People care about the quality of food. So if your heart is not into it, or you know somebody that's just lazy with cooking, they don't really cook themselves, don't ask them. If you know somebody that loves to cook fresh food, that loves to cook or be on the grill, and this is what they do, it's their passion, I would lean more towards them versus just asking any random person that you know if they can help you. So before you ask people, you have to see how people are in their actual kitchen. Do they clean as they go? Do they save the mess for later? Do they use their hands to mix? Do they use food gloves? It's just a lot of other factors before you can just ask anybody, because everybody cooks differently. Everybody doesn't cook with the best sanitation mindset. So you have to pay attention to that stuff first before you just ask people to see, you know, if they're like the perfect fit. So I would do like a secret, like not even an interview, like a secret look-see to see how they are in the kitchen. Do they test the food right out of the pot, test it, eat it, and then test this again with the same spoon? Or they, you know, it's a lot of different stuff going on when it comes to cooking. So you have to find the best people that you already see has a passion for food, already see that enjoys cooking, and they know the good sanitation process. They know that you know, you're supposed to test with get like a bowl or a plate, test it like that without dipping the same spoon or fork that you ate off of back into stuff. It's a lot of different like stuff you have to pay attention to before you ask somebody to help you in the kitchen, because you don't want nobody getting sick, and you don't want anybody coming after you legally because they got sick because you asked such and such to cook that specific thing that person that got sick ate, and now it's like a whole thing going on. So pre-qualify people before you ask them and see. And if you don't eat their food, do not ask them to cook anything for your wedding, period. That's that. If you don't eat their food, do not ask them to cook anything. And if they hear about your wedding and that you're looking for somebody to help out in the kitchen, they volunteer, just say, I already have enough people so far. Let me put you up onto something else that's a little bit further than what you thought of. People like that think that they have a passion for cooking and their cooking skills are not good at all, they're still going to try to make something anyway, because they asked you, you told them no, they don't like the answer no, so they're still going to make something anyway. Please don't serve that to nobody. Try to get a hold of it before it makes it onto the line, you know, because it's all about the presentation and taste. And again, if you don't eat their stuff, don't let them cook anything. Don't try to be nice. This is not a time to be nice. In the kitchen, it is very cutthroat. If you work in culinary, then you know that the kitchen area is very cutthroat and blunt. People don't care what is said. It's a very, it's a very cutthroat industry. I'm not saying you have to be rude, but do not let anybody's bad cooking mess up your vision, because if anybody tastes anything bad or the presentation isn't there, your guests will talk about you. You're not going to never hear about it, but oh, trust me, they'll be talking about you. You don't want them talking about you because you asked somebody that could not cook to make some stuff. So if you don't eat their cooking, do not ask them to cook anything. Don't try to cut corners and be lazy, because that's all going to fall on you at the end of each and every day. and after that wedding, because nobody's not going to want to come to anything that you have, and if they do come, they're not going to eat. So now you've been wasting money buying food that nobody's not going to eat because they're still scared from your wedding. So just try to be nice, but don't be too nice. I mean, this is food now. We getting a little serious. This is food. We got to take it seriously. I'm just saying. Number 7, find inspiration on Pinterest. Pinterest is a wonderful place for recipes. I always turn to Pinterest when I want something to make something new for dinner. I always turn to Pinterest, and it's usually good, fresh, healthy, cooked on a stove, and not like fast food or anything. So Pinterest serves a purpose of a good recipe book, like an online recipe book. A lot of people post up their food blogs on there, so it's a lot of different recipes that you could look for, hors d'oeuvres, appetizers, desserts, everything that you could possibly need for a wedding. Everything at Pinterest is it. Just don't get looped into the black hole because you be on there thinking that you'll be on there for like 5 to 10 minutes. You'll be on there for hours. So if you see a recipe, okay, so this is what I want you to do. Print off 3 recipes for appetizers, 3 recipes for your entree, and 3 recipes for your dessert, and then sit down and try to figure out and really look at the ingredients and stuff and the process and it takes, and also go to YouTube to see how it is made, to see if that's something that you're willing to do. That's the easiest route, because if you keep pinning all these different recipes, you're going to have 100 recipes and not know what to choose from. So limit yourself to 3, then go to YouTube to see how stuff is being made. And then if you see like the process of one thing and you're like, yeah, no, I can't do all that, throw it away, throw the recipe away, move on until you narrow it down to just one each that you feel comfortable with, that it's not a lot of work, something that's manageable, something that will be filling as well. So that's the process that I recommend for you. Number 8, check with the venue or find a venue with a kitchen. So you definitely want to make the investment in getting chafers and sternos and a lighter, because that's how your food is going to be kept hot. But if you have a venue that has a kitchen to it, I'm not saying show up to the venue trying to cook everything before the your event starts. That the kitchen should be used just to warm up stuff to make it even hotter than what the chafer and sternos would do. You know, if you have to make something really quick that could just get popped into the refrigerator, that's fine. But don't sit there try to think that you have all these hours before your wedding starts, because you're going to lose time fast. You're going to lose time fast. So that's why you have to prep days before. You have to get prepared and stay organized and have a detailed plan before you execute your catering. Like I said before, the venue kitchen should only be used to heat up the hot food and cook quick stuff that can just get popped into the refrigerator and then present it when the buffet actually opens. But don't sit there try to rush and make all this food in their kitchen, and now you have to worry about dirty dishes because that takes time. Now you have to worry about cleaning up the kitchen back up how it was when you first got into it. That takes time. And you also have to worry about trying to put everything inside of the refrigerator, and then you have to still take that stuff out the refrigerator to heat it back up. You know, it's a lot of time that you're probably not factoring in that needs to be accounted for. So that's why you need to cook your food at home. Use their kitchen solely to heat the stuff up. And to, again, if you got to make something quick, fast, in a hurry that needs to go in the refrigerator, you do that. And then you could just take it out, because you still have to go home, drive however far you have to, you know, wherever you're staying at, you still have to drive back there, take a shower, and get dressed. So that takes more time. So keep that in mind, that's what the kitchen is really used for. That's what I'm saying. If they do have a kitchen, that's what it should be used for. If it doesn't have a kitchen, then you really need to be extra prepared. How are you going to transport the food? How are you going to keep the food hot or cold? You know, you also want to start your shavers about 15 minutes before the actual event starts, so the water in the bottom of the pan can start getting hot, and you want to make sure that you have enough water in there. And I also have a video on that, how to set up your shavers and also turn off the sterno, so I'll link that down below. And you want to make sure that your water is hot and that you have enough water and that you have sterno that lasts about 6 hours. So do not start your shavers up hours before the wedding start. I would say give yourself about 15 minutes to start getting, you know, the water in the shavers lit, to start boiling that water. You can set up the shaver, put the water in, light the sterno, and start putting the food inside if you have to go, because then that'll start warming up the food. But you need to make sure that your shavers are lit at least 15 minutes before the start time, and that there's enough water in there. And just also have somebody watch the buffet too, just to, you know, make sure that nobody doesn't dip into it, that the sternos are not going crazy or catches fire or anything. So you still want to have somebody monitor that as well. But 15 minutes before your event starts, I would recommend that you start your shavers and start loading up your food as well, so that stuff can start getting hot, and keep stuff that's meant to be cold in the refrigerator. But don't forget about it though. You know, you want to keep that on ice or in the refrigerator up until you have to open up the buffet, because you want that to be served quickly and you know, still while it's fresh or cold. Number 9, have serving utensils for the buffet. So you want to have your tongs, your spoons, your forks. But I never really used a big fork on a buffet. I would normally just use like a tong or a spoon. So you want to make sure that after you're done with your menu and stuff like that, that you see chicken needs a tong or a spoon, you know, you go line by line and you write down what the utensil is for that meal that you're making. Tong, spoon, tong, and you want to have double of everything, just in case like something falls on the floor, because you don't have time to go back and try to find something to wash it with, because you're going to hold up your buffet line. So you want to have 2 utensils. You want to have one actually on the buffet that the people are serving the food with. Then you want to have the extra utensils down below underneath the table. So if somebody down here drops the utensil, you could just quickly go lift up the little tablecloth, grab replace what the utensil that they had, and pass that down along. Give me back that dirty one, and we're gonna put the dirty one off to the side, so that way you're not losing time. That way your buffet is not backed up and people are still flowing through that buffet. And that's the whole thing about it. You still want to make sure that your buffet is nice and clean throughout it all, and that you're still moving it quickly, so that way the food is still getting hot. The people are enjoying their food while it's hot. So limit your conversations to a little, because you have other people in line that want their food hot and they want to sit down and enjoy it. So keep your line moving, keep your line moving, keep your line moving. Have servers to serve the food. I've spoke about this a lot. So this is actually tip number 10. So have servers serve the food. So again, to make sure that there's enough food, have servers and let them know, okay, I only bought so much steak, so limit them to about 2 pieces. Don't pile up their plate. Limit them to about like 2 pieces of chicken or 3. But try not to load people's plates up and stuff like that, because you know I have other guests as well too, and I want to make sure everybody eats and gets some stuff. So limit them to that. But when you buy your stuff, make sure that you have people in mind to go back to the line again. So you want to get your plate servings for two 2 rounds, you know. So let your guests go through one time, let them sit down, eat. Oh, I want something else. Now they're coming back for seconds. So you want to buy enough food for seconds. Okay, you want to buy enough food so your guests have seconds. And anything after that they can take, they can do whatever, but make sure everybody at least eats once and eat secondly if they choose to. But don't let nobody pile up their to-go plates in line the first time. Do not let anybody pile up to-go plates until like the very end. Until the very end, because people have no consideration. If they want food, they'll take food right then and there. Next thing you know, other people don't have any food because somebody is taking up all the food. So don't allow that. Don't even have to-go plates out. If you want to really monitor your buffet, you can have somebody handing out plates and then move them down a line like that. And again, do not let anybody take leftovers while they're going in the buffet line before they even sit down to eat. This round, they're trying to take to-go containers to save. Politely tell them no. If there's any food afterwards, you feel free to come up here, but I still have to make sure other people eat. Simple as that. Don't elaborate. Don't sit there and make little deals with them, meaning like, oh, you think that you could put some food aside for me for later? Once everybody eats, then you and I can talk, and you can come back up here and we can see what is left. Okay, that's the whole point of leftovers, to see what is left. But don't let them hold up the line trying to argue back and forth with you about them getting their to-go plates because they want to take their food now, because there's a lot of people, and they tell them no because I have other people to feed. And again, at the end, if there's any leftovers, if there's anything left over, feel free to come up here. Then we can make your plate, but I'm not making your plate right now. Just simple like that. No arguing back and forth. Pass them along to the next person. If they want something down there, let them. But do not stop the line to make to-go plates, because other people have to eat as well too. 11, buy Schaefer's. I've already spoke about that. So you want to buy enough Schaefer's for your menu. Get full pans. Do not, well, depending on the size of your wedding or event, but I would still recommend that you get long pans of stuff, so that way people can get the seconds, like I said before. Half pans is if your event is like super small. Half pans will do, but if you have like 50 plus people, 40 plus people, you want to get long pans, and that way people can get seconds, and it'll be enough food. Just portion size it. Have your servers portion size it. Don't, portion size everything. But I will recommend you get Schaefer's for each item on your menu, then something to pour the water in to the Schaefer's, sterno for 6 hours, in a lighter. And you can obviously buy other components for your buffet. And if you want to see a picture of my buffets that I did, make sure that you stay to the end of this video and go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube. But stay to the end of this video, and I will include some pictures of buffets that I have done, so that way you can get an idea. And you always set your buffet up left to right, so your menu and your plates start to your left, then it goes to like a salad or cornbread or some sort of side right here in the front. Then you have your Schaefer's, then you have your cutlery, your salt and pepper, and your condiments. So that's how I set my buffets up. Other people do other things, but I'm just telling you how I set it up, left and right, menu at the left. Let your guests read, and the menu, and your buffet needs to be set up according to the menu. So if you have like chicken, rice, vegetable, and then your meats, that's how it needs to be. Your protein should really be at the end of the buffet, and then you have like your grains or whatever else that you have going on, like so you have your appetizers, your sides, and then you have hot sides, I guess, and then you have your protein. Or you can set up your menu however you choose to, just make it match how you set it up on the table. have cleaning supplies. So you want to have like maybe like an old rag. If you plan on renting chafers, the nice metal chafers, make sure that you have some like stainless steel polish that you want to shine up the top part of the top part of your shafer so it's nice and shiny. And you don't want like no old food anywhere on your equipment. You want everything to be nice and clean for when your guests come. You also, when I say like cleaning products, I mean like garbage bags like I spoke about before, an old rag, a spray bottle to spray down the tablecloth. If you see like any stains or anything like that, you can quickly just, you know, wipe it off. You know, just like little stuff like that. I'm not talking about chemicals, and I would polish up the buffets if you're renting them to make everything look shiny, neat, and fresh for when your guests come. And that's what they want to see, shiny, neat. The presentation is there. You just want everything to look nice and clean and presentable for when your guests come down the buffet line, because if they see mess and they know that you cook, they're not gonna be like, wait a minute, why you didn't clean up this buffet, and why is the chafers nasty? I'm not eating that. So now you know it's just a lot of stuff going on with food, and people really care about cleanliness. I mean, hey, I do too, because I'm consuming something. So make sure everything looks neat, nice, neat, fresh, and presentable. Number 13, have to-go plates. I mentioned this before. Do not have those to-go containers within sight as you're opening up the buffet. The to-go container should be presented after everybody has eaten for the second time. That's when you can take out the plates, or unless you want to keep them up there, and put the to-go containers up there, so that way people can see, okay, there's to-go containers, let me go up here and see what I can get. You do not want to have those things out at the beginning, because people are going to take a plate and they're going to take a to-go container, and now you have them trying to pile up both. So to-go containers are to be put out at the very end of the buffet. I mean, at the very end, after people have went through the second time and people are out on the dance floor, you know, getting drinks. So they've actually kind of moved on from eating. But, you know, once they got to-go plates, let me go and make me a plate, you know, for work or for home or whatever. So you want to wait on that until people kind of have moved on to the next phase of the wedding or event. That's when you can present those, but do not put those things out. I promise you, do not put those things out at the beginning of when you're opening up your buffet, because you're going to have a problem. You're going to run out of food. And do not let people take their own food, because if they do, if you allow them to take their own food plus give them to-go containers, what is going to happen? Your line is going to be held up. There's not going to be enough food. I promise you that. You will not have enough food to last the rest of the people, because everybody doesn't have that etiquette. If this person right here, we're going to say my glasses, for instance, is a person. And then this Lysol, I know like random, but whatever. So say that the Lysol person, who's a person, I'm trying to get my food. I'm waiting to the end to get my food when I see to-go containers, and I make sure that everybody has eaten. But Mr. Lysol here doesn't have that etiquette. He sees food, he sees the to-go containers, he's taking up big chunks of this. So now his hands are full. So he has his food that he's going to eat now. So he's loading up his plate that he's going to eat now, plus loading up his plate, his to-go container. Now, I wanted some mac and cheese. There's no mac and cheese left, because he has put it on 2 plates, his to-go plate and his plate that he's going to eat now. You will not last or survive if you allow those to-go containers to be presented and visible at the very beginning. You need to wait on that, literally wait on that. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. And Number 14, make enough to make enough food. Make enough food. That's pretty much that. Make enough food. Like I said before, you want to make sure that you make enough for seconds. Do not make enough for third plates and for everybody to take food home to everybody in their house. It's only for the invited guests. At that time, make food for seconds. Make sure people RSVP. Make food based upon the people that have RSVP, not the people that you have invited, but the people that you have that you know have RSVP. You have confirmed it that they have RSVP. Do not make, oh, I invited let's just say 100 people and only 30 RSVP. Do not make food for 100 people. Make food for those 30 people that RSVP. And anybody extra that pops up that did not RSVP and now they're complaining because there's not enough food, or you could tell them that you made enough for 30 people that RSVP'd. They were not one of them, so now they can get, this is what's left, because I went and based upon the people that confirmed that they were attending. That's how you handle that. But do not make a whole bunch of food. Do not short the food, because people, I promise you, people will talk badly about you and they will reconsider any event that you choose to hold in the future based upon this one event. So this one event will set the tone for anything future that you have. Anything in the future that you have will be determined today. Okay, will be determined after that. So if you didn't make enough food, now you're going to be stressed out and frustrated and trying to run around to find extra food. It's just going to be a mess. I promise you it's going to be a mess if you do not have enough food. People are going to be hungry, especially if you have a wedding and you have a ceremony. The people attended the ceremony. They sat, clapped. Now they're hungry. And you do not have enough food. You're going to have some hangry people. Hangry, hungry, hangry, angry. Hangry people. So now you have hangry guests that are going to leave early, that are going to be fussing and cussing, that is going to be very upset, and they will drag your name literally through the mud because you did not have enough food, or the food quality was poor, or the food wasn't fresh. They will talk about you badly. I'm trying to explain that to you. When people and food go together, it is the food. It's never going to be, especially if the food is bad. What happens when you have bad food? You talk about it. You're just unhappy. It messes up your whole mood. So if people have to commute, which they will, to your wedding or event, have to sit through some presentation or some ceremony, they have to sit before they can eat, and there's not enough food, or the food is horrible, or the food is disgusting, and now people are going to leave your stuff early because they're hungry, and now they have to pay after they've already paid to get to wherever they're going, and now they have to pay the date of your wedding or event. You can bet your bottom dollar they are going to talk about you extremely bad. Now they're pissed off because now they didn't spend all this money. They didn't spend money to get to you. Now they have to spend additional money because you did not feed them, or the food quality was nasty. It was poor. It was poor. You have to spend money when you are inviting people out. I always say this. Make it worth your guests' time. Make it worth their time. Because if they feel like their time is being wasted, or they feel like their time is not being valued, they will leave. And they will leave on a bad note. And bad notes mean bad kind of reviews. I know people don't really talk about getting reviews for their wedding, but you want to hear the feedback. You want to hear how the food was. You want to hear how the environment was. You want to hear how everything was. You want the feedback afterwards, so you can be like, oh man, I didn't know that they noticed that, or man, I really wish that I would have went another route. I know you can't change the past, but feedback really goes a long way. So that way, you know that in the future, or you just know, you kind of have like that. Oh, okay, I agree, or dang, I didn't know that happened, or something like that. You just the thought process of knowing, after your wedding or event, feedback is always good. But yes, take care of your guests, especially at that buffet and dessert. I will give your guests 3 options. Don't give them one. Give them about 3 options for dessert, I would say. You can make cookies, cupcakes, or you can go spend some money out of your wedding budget for desserts. But if you cannot afford a caterer, please do your best at with your catering for your wedding, because people will you won't expect it, especially if you are not in the hospitality or restaurant industry. It is unexpected. It's something that you're not going to be prepared for or built for if you're not used to that. So it's going to be very blunt and hurtful, and people come at you while they're hangry. So you make sure that you really need to take the stuff that I said today in this video seriously, and take notes and get on the ball. If you need to try to, like, if you're not like up for it, like, yeah, after hearing the stuff in this video, that's too much for me, you need to come up with a food alternative. And food alternative, if you can't afford like the local caterer, you can go to like restaurants and check out their catering options. But if you're going to try to do this on your own, you need to knock it out the park. You need to knock it out the park. You cannot half-ass this. You can't just be like, yeah, they're my family, they're my friends. Because if people are hangry, you're going to see their true colors. And no matter how long you've known these people, you have never probably seen them hangry. And if you have seen somebody hangry before and you play around with their food, that emotion that came out on a complete stranger at like a restaurant somewhere, you're going to get that times 10. So take what I'm saying in this video very seriously. People do not play when it comes down to their food. They are not going to, especially when they've been sitting, clapping, standing up and down. They're burning energy. They want food. They don't want no snacks. If you only have to do like a cocktail thing, like just serve hors d'oeuvres, make it look very good, and try to find filling hors d'oeuvre options, and try to keep your ceremony or whatever the presentation is down to like a minimum. Don't have these people there sitting for hours and hours and hours and then boom, food. Because when you have people sitting for hours and they're getting hungry or already hungry, they're going to devour and kill your buffet. So you won't even have enough for seconds. So you need to really have a game plan the day of your wedding and your event on how you're going to limit whatever your ceremony and your presentation or whatever it is that you have going on. You want the talking part of it to be limited, but still get the points across and still get the gist of whatever the occasion is. But the longer people sit, the hungrier they shall be. And the hungrier that they shall be, the more that they're going to eat. So remember that. So make sure to subscribe. Leave a comment below on how you feel about taking on the catering part of your wedding or event. Let me know any other video suggestions that you will want me to do. Make sure that you take full advantage of that Linktree link. Again, it has my digital products in there that I personally developed so to help you plan and design your wedding like a pro, plus those affiliate links that I talked about earlier. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like and comment, and I will see you all on the next video.